statements are full of contradictions. Let me pick the last point. When he says that journalists and the mainstream media are professionals and therefore people will want to refer to what they are saying to make an informed decision. So when you black them out and you stop them from airing what is going on live, where will people get information to confirm what has happened? Because basically that means that you'll open floodgates for propaganda and rumors that will now start spreading. How will people confirm that? Because we've seen that before in 2017 when we had violence in this country, in parts of this country, and people starting using pictures from neighboring countries where there are violence and saying that, you see, in Kisumu, 100 people have been killed and here is the bodies lying on the road. So if you stop the media from covering stories from that, how will people refer? Because basically what he's saying that you will be continue to instill fear and incite people. Somebody in Kibera who has got families in Kisumu and is seeing 100 bodies lying on the road, obviously you will be inciting that person and instigating anger. So that is a deficit argument. Media is there to help the government to contain peace and security in a country. And that is how the government is supposed to use it, because the consumers of media product, if immediately you lock it, you are allowing now other propaganda. In this era of disinformation and misinformation, definitely people will now want to take advantage of that information darkness. So information darkness does not promote peace and security, Mr. Fuamba. Number two, Communication Authority of Kenya, its mandate is licensing and it ends there. Because number one, we've got 3 court judgments actually, court judgment, one by the Supreme Court of Kenya, which it said that the body that is envisaged under Article 34 of the Constitution is the Media Council of Kenya, which is supposed to regulate broadcast content. Justice Chacha Mwita has also ruled that on the same that Communication Authority has got no mandate to switch off television stations. That is arising from the action they took in 2018 when Raila Odinga was being sworn in as the people's president. The matter went in court and Chacha Mwita ruled. Another High Court judgment from Justice Mugambi also said that the Communication Authority has got no role to interfere with normal programming and content that is aired by the media. Their role ends with licensing of the media. So what does that mean? It means that if there is a breach, and we are not saying that media may not have some breaches, if there is a breach where you violate the code of conduct, then the Media Council of Kenya comes in. And that's what the role, that is what the Constitution says. The Constitution says that Parliament shall enact an act of Parliament setting a body that will set media standards and ensure compliance with those standards. And that body is the Media Council of Kenya. The Media Council of Kenya was established and therefore came up with a code of conduct for practice of journalism in Kenya. So if there is any part of the practice of a code of conduct that was breached, you go to the Media Council and the Media Council will take action. So instead of allowing the state to come in, because the media all over the world and the democracies which we want to be is that the media has to be self-regulated, and therefore the Media Council comes in. And I've looked at, if you look at the pictures, by the way, I have not seen anywhere there was a breach of a code of conduct. I have not seen anywhere where live TVs were showing where people are looting shops. I have not seen that. I have not seen where in the live TV where people were showing people maybe bleeding or with dead bodies on the street. Media already taken sufficient action on that. And most of them, I'm sure even here at TV47, I'm sure you've taken those precautions whereby sometimes you do not go live as per se, but you delay the signal so that you are able to see what is coming from the field, then you don't air it. And if you were to show a body, which I also showed, I think that was the last week when someone was shot, you blur the body so that the blood is not there. So people should not mistake what they see on social media with what the professional journalists are doing on these mainstream media. If you look at, if you follow keenly from what television stations were showing, they were just showing the running battles between police and the protesters. But where lootings were going, because during the process, a lot of things happen, and the media know how to deal with that. So it is wrong for the Communication Authority to take action, believing that when they take action, that is when now they'll stop violence. Immediately you do that, that is when now you allow goons to come in. You allow criminals to come in, because they know very well they'll not be captured by the media, they'll not be seen they're not taken by the camera men and women who are there. So it is a defeatist decision that the government is making. Immediately you block the media. You are inviting criminals, you are inviting the goons to join the protesters and start looting what you are trying to stop because of the information darkness that have been enforced by the government.
So, Eric...
Bamba, before you answer that, how then do we become objective in a manner that doesn't sound like we are inciting from where you sit? Because now you're saying that it looks like we're inciting, working on the basis of the environment that we are in today. How do we become objective from your own lens?
First of all, what Eric has said is based on his position as the Secretary General of the Kenya Union of Journalists. He has to speak for his people. As a politician, he is supposed to speak for his people, and that I understand. But what I was talking about is the ethical reporting, which is a universal position. Even when you look at the Universal Declaration for Human Rights, Article 19, or about media freedom that Kenya ratified in 1963. And still continues being applicable in line with the Article 2, Sub-Article 6 of the Constitution of Kenya.